And we back. Now, right now, I'm extremely excited because my Bulls just wrapped up their first Summer League game, and I was very, very impressed. But if you want to hear more about that, link in the description to a full video. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at some more NBA opinions, man. I love to hear other people's opinions and kind of refute their opinions or agree with their opinions. It's always super fun, but at the end of the day, y'all got to understand that everything in this video is an opinion. I'm not stating anything for fact. So you may disagree with everything I say in this video, but hopefully you find some type of entertainment in it. But let's get to the first one. The Lakers will have problems on and off the court this season. I will be more focused on the on-the-court stuff. Now, when they signed LeBron, obviously that is huge for their franchise. It's huge for their city and everything. They just brought in the best player of this generation to be on their squad. And he's still like top tier. He's still the best player in the world. So that's amazing. But then when they followed it up with JaVale McGee, Lance Stevenson, and Rajon Rondo, I was sitting around like, those are odd signings. And mostly because LeBron is a player that is maximized with having players around him that can shoot the ball. Without a doubt, if LeBron puts his head down and he wants to go to the basket, he's going to get to the basket. But we know LeBron is also a facilitator. He may get to the basket and want to kick it out to the corner. And last year, he had Jeff Green in that corner, and it didn't work out too great. And now he's going to have players like Lance Stevenson. He's going to have players like Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is a solid three-point shooter, but for the most part, they're not real shooters on this squad. Back in Miami, he had Ray Allen. Back in the second stint in Cleveland, he had Kyle Korver. Like, he's always had elite shooters on the squad, but right now he doesn't really have that. I don't think that's going to stop them from being a good team and all, but I just feel like they would be way better if they had elite shooting. As far as off-the-court things, I mean, every team has off-the-court issues. It's just a matter of fact of, are they big enough to hit the public? Lance Stevenson, LeBron, you know, they have their little antics and all, but they've admitted that they have respect for each other. Rajon Rondo, over the last couple years of his career, every teammate he's had from Chicago and from New Orleans have said that, look, he's the best teammate we've had. Like Nico said, the best teammate Nikola Mirotic has ever had was Rajon Rondo. You know, so the off-the-court issues, I don't think there's going to be too many of those. But on the court, something a little different. With LeBron out of the East, the Raptors will make it to the NBA Finals. I still gotta go Boston Celtics here. Boston Celtics were in the Eastern Conference Finals, one game away from being in the finals without their two best players. And I think that is super, super important. But the Raptors are a very interesting team because the past couple years, the reason why they haven't been successful in the postseason is because they ran into LeBron every single year, and LeBron has just dominated those boys. Could this be the best team in the East since LeBron ain't there? Sure, they could be, but something tells me that the depth of the Boston Celtics would be a little bit too much. But this and the Philadelphia 76ers, those are the three teams I think are the top tier of the East. And then after that, you got like the Pacers or just things like that. But I still gonna put my hat on the Boston Celtics. But if the Toronto Raptors made it out the East, I wouldn't be surprised either. They are a good team. I just think the Boston Celtics are a better team. Is Melo the missing piece in Houston? I believe that Melo can be the missing piece for a lot of teams if he agrees to come off the bench. If he agrees to come off the bench. Like last year, he made the whole jokes like the media brought it to him. As soon as he got to OKC, the media was like, yo, Melo, do you think you'll be coming off the bench this year? And immediately he shut it down. For the entire season, he shut it down. But I think that he can still be an effective NBA player if he came off the bench. You know, if he was still in OKC this year, if you don't know, they're probably going to try to buy him out or trade him to another team. If he came off the bench, he would be magnificent for their team because he would be the primary scorer on the second unit. Now, if you throw him in Houston, maybe. But it's a matter of fact, will they want him on their team knowing that regardless of what they want, he's not going to agree to come off the bench? So I do think Melo is going to find a team and he's going to be solid, but he needs to come off the bench. Durant is the hardest player to guard in the NBA. I'm going to pick between him and LeBron James. I think it's synonymous. Both players are extremely hard to guard in different aspects. Like, LeBron James is like a tank. You know, if he wants to put his head down and get to the rim, like I mentioned earlier, he will do that. And Kevin Durant, even though he has those similar abilities, his game is more outside. But both players really don't have holes in their game. You could say LeBron is not an elite shooter, but the past couple years he's been pretty good at it. And then I see people in the comment section saying guys like Russell Westbrook. I see James Harden named there a lot. But with those guys, because they're guards and they're relatively small, if you put a guy like Rudy Gobert in the center of all, it's going to be hard for those guys to score. It's going to be harder for those guys to score. I mean, I've mentioned it multiple times on videos here that Russell Westbrook attempted way less shots in the paint when he was going against Rudy Gobert. There's a reason for that, you know? And those guys are more effective going to the rim. So I would pick between Kevin Durant and LeBron James being the hardest players in the league to guard. But I understand the Russell Westbrooks. I understand the James Harden, even Kyrie Irving, just because he's so good when it comes to his ball handling skills. Giannis is the best player in the East with LeBron gone. I think so. There are people out there that mentioned JoJo. We actually talked about this on Through the Wire. The newest episode did just drop today. Let's just play that clip.
Is Giannis the best player in the East? Because I know people are saying JoJo. Do y'all think it's Giannis over JoJo?
It's JoJo.
I think it's Joel Embiid.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's close, but I think Giannis is a better player.
I'm taking Joel Embiid over Giannis.
So if you're starting a team right now,
I'm taking Joel Embiid.
even with his history.
Oh, if I'm starting a team right now, I'm taking Ben Simmons.
But those aren't the options.
We didn't even mention
Those are the options right there.
I'm taking Giannis.
Right? Yeah, I think it's not even.
I'm taking Joel.
We're in a league that's dominated by wing players.
Yeah, but Joel Embiid has proven he's dominant. Yeah, he's the dominant big.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying y'all wrong. I'm just making my case that Giannis is the superior player. But I don't think it's like Giannis is a 10 and JoJo's a 6. I think it's like 10.9.6, you know, something like that. But okay.
So yeah, I have Giannis, but I can understand why people say Joel Embiid. Some other names that came up was Kyrie Irving, and so I'm going to go Giannis for sure. Has Kawhi lost your respect? I can't say he's lost my respect because so many things were said over the course of this season that I don't know what's true and I don't know what's false. You know, this entire time, his camp has said something, and then the Spurs say something. The doctors say something. So I can't say he lost my respect per se. I gotta hear what parts were true and what parts were false first. Who would you start? Lonzo. I don't even know why this is really a debate. Yes, Rondo is he's a pretty good player, right? I think Lonzo's a little bit better as in terms of right now. We're not talking prime Rondo. We're talking right now. And I think Lonzo's better. And I think he kind of brings a little bit more as far as playing alongside LeBron. He can shoot a little bit better than Rondo. A little bit, all right? A little bit better than Rondo. And Rondo is such a give me the ball, let me dribble 20 seconds guy. Pairing him alongside LeBron James may be a little tough. That's why when I did see this signing, one thing I thought, okay, he's going to be their guy for their second unit. That's the way I thought about it. But I think it'll be really, really weird if they threw out Rondo day one instead of Lonzo. It just don't really fit it. I mean, Lonzo's one of their boys. You know what I mean? So I would guess Lonzo started. Kevin Durant is overrated. When I say stuff like this, I really question what people are watching. Somebody in the world think this is true. Maybe you watching this video think that this is true, and you're crazy. You may dislike Kevin Durant all you want. He left OKC to go to Golden State Warriors, a 73 win team, whatever. But if we're talking pure basketball skill set, he is the second best player in the world. There's no holes in his offensive game. And previous to like a couple years ago, he was always an average defender, not that great of a defender, but he was so good offensively that his defense didn't matter. But for the past couple years, he's been a close to elite defender. So I don't understand the idea that he's overrated. I think people that are saying this right now are still just upset about him switching teams and all. But if you got to take that out of your mind. When you ranking players and all, who cares what he did as far as leaving the team behind? Pure skill, Kevin Durant got it. I got to read these comments. Somebody in this comment section is going to try to convince me that he's overrated. This guy said without those all-stars beside him, he won't be anything. Does this guy not know that he won an MVP award before he came to Golden State Warriors? He won an MVP award. What do you mean he wouldn't be anything? He was elite before going to the. Okay, who else is here? He was underrated before he got a ring. I can see that. Who made these? That is my exact thought. I just don't understand it. Not many people here are saying yes, which is great because that means there's some hope for the world. This will be the last comment we read, and then I'll end the video, all right? This guy said, Kevin Durant is definitely overrated. If he didn't join Golden State, he'll have 0 rings. Again, we've mentioned multiple times here on this channel that rings don't make you a great player. Plenty of players retire with 0 rings and are still some of the best basketball players of all time. And then there are plenty of players that have multiple rings that aren't elite. So that argument, don't agree with. That's why Pierce calls him, Kevin, if you can't beat him, join him, Durant. He knows for himself that he can't lead his OKC team to a championship, and he ride on a 73-9 team to get an easy ring. One thing I gotta say, whenever Paul Pierce talks, I immediately throw it out the window. He is extremely biased, and for the most part, he hates majority of the superstars from today's league. You know why? Because they threaten him. Yeah, they threaten him. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant is going to be higher on the ranking than Paul Pierce, LeBron too, so he hates those players, you know? So whatever Paul Pierce say, immediately out the window, especially when you say something like this, because, I mean, his championship ring was won because they had to form this super team as well, right? Kevin Garnett had a no-trade clause. I mean, he could have stayed in Minnesota, but no, this is not about Paul Pierce. I don't understand it. Nobody that I read these comments have made legitimate reasons why Kevin Durant, the basketball player, is overrated. So I'm going to say he's not, all right? Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Again, these are all strictly my opinions, you feel me? In the description, there'll be 2 videos that I would like y'all to check out. The Day 2 Summer League recap from me. I talk about the Bulls, I talk about the Knicks, I talk about all the players that played yesterday. And then the newest episode of Through the Wire, which you saw the small clip of during this video. If you want to watch the full-length video, link is also in the description and on the title card at the end. Thank y'all so much. Peace.